parking at a truck stop somewhere north of my delivery, because the closer I get to Miami, the more likely it will be that all of the truck stops and truck parking options will be full. Right now, the truck parking forecasts for truck stops in the Fort Pierce area alternate between full and maybe you get lucky and find a bare patch of concrete to park on. Jury's out. Got an Amazon van coming up on my right there. I wanted to merge over a moment ago, but I saw them coming up pretty hard. Like, yeah, all right, let's just let them get on by, then I'll merge them. Anyway, it is what it is. Downside to my thinking is that I really probably should have handled things a little bit differently yesterday. I decided to try to capitalize on an opportunity when I stopped yesterday for my midday shower break to go ahead and get a PM service done on my truck, and that went mostly well, except for the problem that the truck stop I got the service done at, which was a Love's, did not have the fuel water separator filter that would fit my truck. Whether that's because they didn't have the correct part number that would correspond, or if they were looking at the wrong information on their system, I don't know. So that is the one thing that hasn't been done. I've got fresh oil, fresh primary fuel filter, but the fuel water separator filter is still disgusting, and I need to get that done. Hopefully I have an opportunity to get that sorted out either sometime today, if I can find the right Love's. I can get actual parking at a Love's truck stop down in the Fort Pierce area, which honestly is not likely at this point, because I think a lot of guys are just parking at the different truck stops in that region, either because they're home for the weekend or because they're staging for their deliveries tomorrow morning in and around Miami or Fort Pierce or wherever. So parking is thin, and that's a problem. So probably will not be able to get that done today, which is extremely unfortunate, which means I'll have to try to fight for an opportunity to get that done at some point tomorrow, which maybe I can get it done, maybe I cannot, who knows. Fortunately, it seems as though because I purchased the full PM service, which included that particular filter, through a combination of coordination in the system, if I get that filter replaced at another Love's, they will coordinate with the shop I got the full PM done at and ensure that in their side, billing and inventory is all taken care of proper, so that everyone walks away happy and I get the filter. Which, hey, I'm okay with that. As annoying as it is to not have SPF 45 or 70 or whatever else, I'm sure I'll catch fire because I'm just that pasty white. So I'll need to wait a little bit and get things planned out a little more intelligently to make sure, pardon me, that I'm not going to end up burning myself to a crisp. I need to acquire sunscreen yet. Unfortunately, there appears to be an option for doing so not far away from where I intend to park, and that will be very good. Because once I can get sunscreen and maybe a cheap beach towel sourced, life will be good. And that's where I'm throwing a little bit here. Even though I spent the last few minutes kind of complaining about things, I am enjoying my drive down the coast on 95 in Florida. I deliberately avoided the toll road, got on 10, onto I-10 from I-75, and headed over to Jacksonville to turn south on 95. A, because I wanted to dodge the Florida Turnpike, and B, because I really do enjoy driving down the Florida coast. I like I-95 a lot. It's a very flat, very peaceful interstate. It's open, and it's basically 3 lanes all the way down at the very least, which is fantastic. And at the right time of day, with the weather just so, you get a really nice sea breeze coming off the Atlantic, which is just a few miles to my left. And I'm really hoping I can find my way to a beach and capitalize on some fun in the sun. Not too much fun because I gotta go to work tomorrow and get this load delivered, then get up the road to my next pickup, and then get on the way to my delivery in the Tallahassee region on Monday. Well, tomorrow at this point. No, for Tuesday, I'm sorry. My Tuesday delivery in the Tallahassee region. So I've got a narrow window of time where I can enjoy some fun in the sun, and hopefully I can do it in such a way where I don't explode, burn to a crisp, or, get skin cancer. Anyway, YouTube, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you